Publicis and Omnicom have agreed to a huge merger. This is going to be a game changer in the advertising world, but will it be smooth sailing? Well, I am joined by the deal's Paul Whitfield in Paris. So, Paul, you know, this is a huge deal, but the thing that strikes me with this merger is that they have big conflicts of interest with their clients. I mean, how can you have Microsoft and Google in the same house and Coca-Cola and Pepsi in the same house? It seems like one of these clients is going to want to go.
Look, there's no doubt that there's conflicts of interest here. They're already big advertising agencies. They already run a lot of smaller advertising agencies within their umbrellas. They have the firewalls in place. They will trust in those. They would hope their clients would trust in those. But of course, there's conflicts of interest, and then there's conflicts of interest. And as you say, Pepsi and Coke, Microsoft, Google. The CEO spoke this morning on a conference call, said that they'd spoken to their biggest clients, said that by and large, the clients had been supportive, had congratulated them, hadn't raised any problems, but also perhaps crucially said that there was no client out there who could walk away and, as a threat of walking away, actually block the deal. They made that quite clear. They'd go ahead no matter what the client said.
Well, of course, and if the clients are going to leave, they're not going to leave right away. You know, they're going to find another agency, and it might take a few months, but it's very, I would think that one of them is going to say, you know what, I'm hitting the road. I want to go to a smaller agency that's going to give me all the attention I want.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as I say, they run smaller agencies within these large agencies. But, I mean, you're quite right. There's no doubt that, you know, if you're working for Coca-Cola and Pepsi, you're the head of marketing, you're going to be getting phone calls from other agencies saying, look, you know, we can do what these guys can't anymore. You'll be our number one. You won't be one of two sort of thing. So, I mean, I certainly would expect that. There's also, I mean, there's the risk that, you know, they'll take their off their ball. This is going to be a long process to bring the two companies together. We've got 30 months where the CEOs are going to be sharing management. You're going to have clash of cultures. You've got New York and Paris. I mean, they're both international advertising agencies, but these are two very different companies. Two very different management styles. You've got Ren, who's something of a recluse, who's very seriously business-minded, and you know, not to say that Maurice Levy isn't, but he's the extrovert. He likes to be out in front of the media. It's going to be interesting times.
Let's talk about the digital aspect of this, because everyone's saying, wow, this is going to be the grab for the digital ad space, that Google has stolen so much of this away from the big companies. You know, what can they do to try to get some of that digital ad money back?
They've taken two different strategies here. So you've seen Omnicom, who very much has sort of bought their way into the digital space. And the same way that the Publicis have, but. Publicists have tended to potentially be a little bit more organic in their development of this. You know, they need the technology. This is what's leaving them behind in terms of competing with the likes of Google. It's not about brilliant ideas. It's about the search engines. It's about the stuff that sits behind, and it's about they're not going to compete with Google. They're not going to launch a service at the likes of Google or Apple or Facebook. Their idea is to get a bit of the crumbs off Google's table and to come up with this sort of innovative technology that might be able to allow them to back into these large digital sort of marketing and advertising giants now.
Have we seen any record or a good track record of ad companies merging like this and then it working out? I mean, what do you think is going to be the likelihood for this deal based on past mergers?
Look, there's nothing of this size to judge it by. What we've seen is the likes of Publicis, the likes of Omnicom picking up smaller houses, these sorts of very creatively driven big brand names, so Publicis buying such and such, Leo Burnett, and that sort of thing. What you have here is the two giants coming together. I mean, what is true and what remains, to be seen is advertising it's a people business. You are as good as your talent, and keeping your talent on board is what's going to make this sink or swim. If they can't keep the best people on board, if the best people can't see, it goes both ways. Maybe they see more avenue for growth, career progression, opportunity. Maybe they see more competition. But this is going to be this is always the problem with bringing together an advertising agency with another one is that what you're buying is the people, and what you've got to do is keep the people on board.
All right, so ultimately, it seems like the market is behind the deal. I mean, what are you hearing? Do you feel like the tone is receptive or skeptical?
Mostly receptive. I was looking at the share price just before. I see that in pre-trading, Omnicom's up around about 8%. Publicis hasn't started trading in Paris yet. They've asked for their shares to be suspended, so they begin trading at the same time as Omnicom. By and large, it seems quite positive. I saw I don't know whether it's being mischievous or not, but it's WPP, which is still, up until this merger completes, the biggest advertising agency in the world. Their CEO, Martin Sorrell, congratulated Publicis on a great deal, the implication being that Omnicom got the weaker side of it. But, by and large, I think that the analysts that I've spoken to, the analyst comments that I've seen are largely positive.
All right, well, there you have it, the latest from Paris on the Publicis Omnicom deal. So far, it looks like the market is receptive. That's Paul Whitfield from the deal in Paris, and I'm Deborah Borchardt with The Street.